Hey, good morning YouTube. This is Steven with On My Way to Fire, personal finance channel about early retirement. And today I want to do a quick PSA type video talking about the employer match. And a lot of people may not realize this, but the employer match, although it might be small, it makes a difference over a long period of time. I've been doing my 401k now going on 12 years, going into the 13th year, and the balance has built up in my account that it consists of about 9.5% of my balance in the 401k is a direct result of the match, which is pretty amazing. A 9% free return just for investing. Now, part of that is based on investment gains, but pretty amazing. My match at my company is somewhere around 50%, and I get about $2,000 a year on that portion. So it's pretty cool that it's basically free money, but it takes the effort and diligence on my part. Now, couple quick notes about how these usually work, and yours may be different, so you're going to want to consult with your HR department and find out more. But typically what ends up happening is it looks for a vested schedule. So I get the match per pay period. So it's not like you get a lump sum. At least that's how mine works, and I think a majority of them work like that. Now, if you overfund your 401k and you put in massive sums of money, like $1,500 per check, you might max out for the year early, and that might affect your match not applying because you won't be able to put in more money in maybe the last couple months of the year, and you'll miss out on those matches. So you want to find out if your company has something called a true up, which I was not aware of, but I've listened to a few podcasts that talk about this. And your company will look back and say, okay, this person maximized their 401k for the year. They did it early, so we're going to give them the match that they missed out on for those remaining paychecks. But not all companies have that, so you want to make sure if that's something that you are super aggressive with saving, that you don't miss out on that match. I do know of a few people who did this, and my company does not offer the true up, so they missed out. And I tried explaining to the person in like September or October, so by then it was too late. They had worked a ton of overtime, and they lost out on the match for the last few months of the year. It's not a huge deal. They're already a super saver, but they did miss out on it. So it does suck if something like that happens. Okay, well, the next part is it's proportional. So when I invest a certain percentage in my account and I have my allocation to the different funds, that match, mine is about $75 to 80 something dollars per check. It is split up proportionately based off how I allocate my funds. So that's another thing. It just goes with it. You don't have to do anything extra. The money just shows up, and it should show a history in your lifetime contributions and totals. You should be able to parse out what's the match over the period of time and what's the actual contribution that you made. And it's pretty helpful in tracking progress. So overall, this is just like a quick video just to talk about that. And the bigger overall idea though is you're shielding your income. And if from taxes. So if you're in a high tax state like I'm in California, you're going to have a high state tax in addition to federal tax. So by you putting this money in your 401k, you're effectively getting a bit of a boost of your money going further, because the dollars that are in that 401k is more than you would have gotten in the paycheck. So you're probably getting somewhere between 18 to 25, maybe even a 30% combined rate on those two taxes. That money is actually going further. So the caveat is you don't have access to that money early. And that's probably the biggest reason why a lot of people don't want to contribute to the 401k, even if they have a match, is you need access to that money. So to anybody considering this and on the fence whether or not they should do it, if you've passed your 90 days, usually probation with the company, and you're eligible for that 401k, you want to get it started. And when you go in there, there's typically a minimum that you have to do at least 3%. And when I started out, I was really tight with my budget. I did not have extra money, so I didn't do the 401k for the first few years. And then I also found out that we didn't have a match at the time. So eventually that was introduced maybe 3 or 4 years after I was at the company. And then I realized, oh, you know what, it's a 29% match. It was like a weird number like that, 28.6, something like that. Over the years, it's increased. So the longer I've been in it, the more I've gotten. But at least I got something in those early years that I did it. But, my thought process at that time was to pay down my mortgage loan and just have money to spend for things that I needed. I didn't really want to think about retirement in my 30s. As I got to be about 34, 35, that's where it got serious. And I really crunched the numbers, try to look to see what's going to benefit me in the long term. And you just got to put your head down and just set that allocation and just get that automatic deduction coming out of your check. I was just looking at my numbers, charting progress with this huge comeback. I'm going to do a video here over the weekend on the V-shaped rally that we've had. It seems to be holding. A lot of it's tech-based, but a lot of these things, they go up so fast, they might come down just as fast, so we don't know. But at least as far as my 401k, it's more of a hands-off type account. I do occasionally rebalance it with investment transfers, but for the most part, I'm not messing around too much with it, other than just adjusting the percentages of what I want to contribute going forward on new deposits. But if this is all new to you, I just really encourage you to check out get signed up for it, get logged into the website, get familiar with it, set it up, and it usually takes 1 to 2 pay periods for it to take effect, and then you're in the system and the thing is just rolling automatically. And let's say that you can't do the full match, at least try to do the minimum just to get in, and as your budget allows, see how it goes the first month or two. See if you can increase that by 1%. And then if you get a raise in the next year, increase it by another %. These are just little ways you can do it without really feeling the hit. And, you'll definitely thank yourself in the long term. So thanks for stopping by. We'll see you in the next video.